Hi everybody, Chef Bravo over here for Bravo Plant-Based Channel and BravoPV.com. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. This is about peaches. So we're sort of towards the end of the stone fruit season here in the northern hemisphere. And I came into a case of peaches that were not quite perfect, and you'll see them in a moment. And so I'm using those to make 3 different dishes for you. So I hope you enjoy this. All right, so we came into this case of peaches that, as you can see here, have some black spots, so obvious moldy spots. But what was interesting about these is that they are actually quite hard. So normally I would expect to see moldy spots on very soft peaches, so they're like really overripe kind of a thing. But these are hard and yet they're like rotting, which it could mean various things, but more than likely these, because it's towards the end of the stone fruit season, they were probably got held back a little bit in some form of controlled storage facility, controlled environment kind of a thing. So these should be quite soft, but because wherever they put them in, whether it was refrigeration or sometimes these storage facilities, they pump the oxygen out so that the rotting process does not, just slows down essentially. But not a big deal for me because again, we are still within the local season of this. So I decided I simply was just going to take the moldy spots off, as you can see. So any sort of blemishes that I don't necessarily want to have, you can see I've done that with this one here. So I take that off. And then basically, I'm just gonna follow that natural shape that peaches have to go down the middle. And then I'm gonna go perpendicular to that. So I end up with like quarters kind of a thing. And then right down the middle going the other way. So these are now 8s. And then I spin it around. And then I basically end up with all these fairly good size, fairly bite-sized sort of pieces. So this is gonna go in the oven, 400 degrees for about 15-20 minutes. And essentially, what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna dry out the peaches. They're gonna dry out. But because they really are ripe, what's gonna happen is they're going to, the flavor is gonna get really nice and concentrated, which is what I'm after. Now, I've seen this happen with nectarines as well. So nectarines would sort of have the same effect sometimes. Certainly, there are many varietals of peaches. You probably have seen white and yellow peaches, the same with nectarines, but there's actually quite a large variety of them. So it could also be that the specific varietal is one where they ripen up and they never sort of go soft. That happens sometimes too. But in any case, I have my peaches here, all lined up in a tray here, lined with parchment paper. Now again, they're gonna go in the oven, 400 degrees for about 15-20 minutes. Okay, now, through the magic of television, this is what they look like. They look dry, almost like a dried fruit. But if you would be able to taste these are so intense in flavor. They're like too sweet almost, which is exactly what I'm looking for because that's gonna help me put together these dishes that I'm about to do for you. So let me just get rid of the trash here real quick. All right, and so the first thing I want to do is I have some other ones here. These were done yesterday, all from the same case. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some vanilla. Very generous with the amount, okay? Now I'm also going to add some lime zest to this, okay? So now that I have something that's really sweet, now I want to get something that's gonna balance out that flavor. And in this case, it's going to be my lime. So a little bit of zest. I have a couple limes here. Okay, and now I'm also gonna get some juice in here. So now I'm playing off of this sort of a sweet and sour kind of flavor combination. And then with a little bit of that that vanilla, it's almost like a like a cocktail, kind of that I'm playing off of here. My final touch for this one is going to be some mint, because I know that from experience, mint and any form of citrus, whether it be lime, lemon, orange, grapefruit, citrus and mint go really well together. So I'm doing that here. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let these marinate, okay? I'm gonna allow the peaches, because they got dried out, I'm gonna allow the peaches to soak in that lime juice and that vanilla extract. And then we're gonna come back to these once it's time to plate. All right, now remember I did have that tray here. So with this guy, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take half of them. And we're gonna keep it very simple. I have here some balsamic vinegar. So again, that sweet and sour kind of a thing. But to this one, I'm going to add a spicy component. Okay, not a lot. I don't want to overwhelm it. Just enough to where I'm like, oh yeah, I can taste them. So just like that. Okay. And what I can do for these is certainly put them over some bitter greens here. So sort of like an arugula type thing, a watercress, that sort of thing. All right. And now I'm just gonna do another little touch of balsamic. This could also be another type of vinegar. You can certainly do some sherry. Sherry vinegar would be great here. Maybe even some red wine vinegar. And then just a little bit of more spice over the top. Again, nothing complicated, fairly simple. If you wanted to, you could do maybe a little bit of diced shallots in here, minced shallots. So just a little bit of onion to go with the vinegar and that sweetness of the peaches. Again, this is nothing more than a sweet and sour combination. All right, and now for the final trick here, we're gonna bring that other half of peaches. Okay, I'm going to combine these with some parsley sprigs, just like that. So now I'm looking for the sort of herbal, savory combination in with the very sweet of them. Okay. And then what I'm gonna add to these is I have a little bit of roasted onions and fennel with a little bit of yellow bell peppers. So this was like leftovers that we have from a different dish. So there's even some garlic cloves in there. Okay, so I'm putting all that in together. So we have the roasted peaches, roasted red onions, roasted garlic, roasted fennel, and roasted bell peppers in with the parsley. And to this one, again, we're doing more of the sweet and sour. I'm just gonna add a little bit of rice vinegar to the whole thing. Mix it up. Beautiful. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and plate this up for you. So this would be a really nice side dish there for everybody at the table. And you have time. We're still in stone fruit season. So you got time to put this wonderful dish together. Okay, just like that. I would maybe finish it off with a little bit of toasted pine nuts or toasted pistachios. That would be great to go with that. Okay, and now my final dish here, the one we started out with. This is the mint and lime peaches. This really would be all the dessert you would need for the evening without the use of the batters and the breads and the cakes and anything else. This right here would be all you would need for a nice dessert as we're sort of finishing up our warm days. You know, we're coming towards the end of summer. And so I hope you enjoy this. These are all just very simple, using, again, something that I would normally be sort of a red flags, you know, peaches that are hard but yet, you know, going moldy. Not a problem. We just are going to accentuate the sweetness of the peaches. And here we have, again, our mint and lime roasted peaches. And then over here we have our spicy balsamic peaches, okay? And then over here we have our roasted peaches with onions and garlic and a little bit of rice vinegar. All right, so I hope you enjoy that. Very simple to make. Again, the peaches went into the oven, 400 degrees, about 15-ish minutes. They don't have to start looking all brown. They just need to look sort of dried up so that you know that the sweetness in there just got concentrated. And now you can bounce off of that extra sweet sugar. So hope you like this video. Please hit the subscribe button if you do. And again, this was Chef Bravo for Bravo Plant-Based Channel and BravoPB.com. Thank you.